Audio presents an unabridged recording of Chewing the Cud, an extraordinary life remembered by the author of Babe, the Gallant Pig, by Dick King-Smith, narrated by the author. This recording is copyrighted 2004 by W.F. Howes. Before he was a children's book author, Dick King-Smith was a soldier, a farmer, a salesman, a factory worker, and a teacher. But he was always a devoted family man who loved the countryside he lived in and the animals he kept. In this insightful memoir, Dick King-Smith recounts the joys and failures of his extraordinary life with equal humour and candour. And now, Chewing the Cud.
What's in a name? Children often ask me if the name under which I write is my real one. I say yes, but it's not strictly true. Though everybody calls me Dick, my real name, I must confess, is Gordon. And when I was small, everyone called me that. Indeed, my grandparents always did. I hated the name. I was christened Ronald Gordon, the first name after father, the second after some South African who'd been a pal of his in the Great War and became one of my two godfathers. I never met the man, never heard from him, and from an early age disliked his name. My other godfather, Ivan Nicholson, a publisher, always sent me a £10 note on my birthday, so I should probably have been quite happy to be named Ivor. I don't quite know why I took against the name Gordon so much. There is, I suppose, nothing much wrong with it. Apologies to any so-called who are reading this, but I just plain didn't like it. And when I went to prep school, I managed quickly to acquire the nickname of Bertie. How? Why? Dunno. But at some point when I was quite small, I was walking down the lane from our house with my nanny, Ethel, and I fell and grazed my knee. The story goes that in order for my nanny not to see my tears, I pointed up into the sky and said, "Look at the dicky birds." After that, Mother and Father used on occasion to call me Dicky Bird, which then shrank to Dicky and eventually to plain Dick. Put together with King and Smith, a trio of ugly sounds results, but I've got used to it over the years. Though I suppose it would have been nice to have, as an author, a really mellifluous name that tripped off the tongue, like David Dearlove or Oliver Granfield. Children who write to me often have difficulty with the hyphen between the two parts of my surname, and almost always address me as Dick-King-Smith, just to be on the safe side. Once I even had a letter beginning, "Dear-Dick-King-Smith." My surname was the result of various kings marrying various Smiths, or indeed Smiths marrying kings. By chance also, an exploration of my family tree, undertaken by my great-uncle Oswald, a keen amateur genealogist, led back to another king, none other than Charles II. Quite possibly most people in England are related to King Charles II, the Black Boy, a libertine of the first order who fathered so many children on the wrong side of the blanket. I am descended from a Lady Russell, who bore the king a daughter. This line then descended for a while on the distaff side, until eventually one of my female ancestors married a Mr. King, or Smith, not sure which. Great-uncle Oswald, incidentally, was so shocked by the discovery of the original bastardy that he went into a decline and passed away. Charles II's genes must have been pretty strong. For almost a couple of centuries after his death, there is a story in the family that another ancestor of mine, John James Smith, emigrated to the USA and, in New York State, founded the Mormons. He was eventually murdered, but not before he had married no less than 33 wives. Chapter 1. The Sheep Pig. 1st of July, Dominion Day, Canada. The Village Fete. In charge of Guess the Way to the Pig.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.